Want to give an update or anything?
Please leave a message after the beep.
Hey, Lachlan, it's JV. Got a bit of an idea for you.
Excuse my lady.
It's a genius idea. And obviously, I was straight away into it.
We're thinking that if we did the Tour de France start to finish, you ride all the transfers unsupported, just like they would have done in 1903 in the first Tour de France. Can you beat the peloton to Paris?
It's like the event I was born to do, you know? So immediately I was like, yep, I'm in.
Is everyone ready?
Yep.
So stage one with the transfer.
When I started to look at what the route actually looked like, and then we started to look at the numbers, I was like, this is a real challenge.
That's stage one. Now we can kind of work through looking at this here.
The next step was like, okay, this is going to be the hardest thing I've done by a significant margin. And that got me really excited. If I'm honest, I didn't think about this much at all until the last 10 days. I tried to not ride at all. I figured I'm going to be riding so much that the best thing I could do was just be really motivated to go ride. I was just like trying to go to the beach and sleep and, you know, hang out with Rach as much as I could, which has been nice. But I'm definitely ready to go ride. I feel like I've been cooped up and like I'm ready to get out there on the road and unleash.
The Tour de France is the greatest cycling event in the world.
I'm a huge fan of the sport and I really love the older traditions of cycling. I think that's what makes it so interesting. And I guess the inspiration of doing it in this format is a throwback to the original tour route where they used to cover really long stages and they would be self-sufficient during the stage. So they had to fix their own bikes, sort their own food. There wasn't mechanics and chefs and soigneurs. I've always thought I would have been a much better cyclist if I was in the 30s, you know? It's true. All right, mate. If you weren't a little bit anxious about it, it means you're not biting off enough, I think. Yeah, nice one. Hope to see you out there. I've done 2 Grand Tours and each time I had an hour massage every day, a chef cooking for me, mechanics looking after my bike, bus driver driving me around, a director telling me where to go, what to do. And even then it's still hard to stay together like physically. You know, you could get a cell sore, your knee could start hurting. That's what I'm nervous about. Rico would probably hate doing something like this. But then if I was like gonna go lead a Tour de France team, like that's my nightmare. But I like to think there's like some sort of mutual respect, you know? Like we caught the train, we all caught the train from Paris to Brest, like I was with the team. And then we got out of the train station and they went left to the team buses and cars, and then I just walked to the Airbnb and I was like, I'll see you guys in Paris. It's last night, heading out in the morning, and I'm very excited. I also shaved for the occasion. Yep, pretty sharp. Just did a little repack on the bike for the 10th time. Because I'm seriously nervous. But yeah, I'm gonna try and sleep. But it feels a bit like Night Before Christmas. Which is good. I'm I'm excited. All right, see you tomorrow. It's not just a sporting event. It's like so much bigger. And for the month of July, everyone in France is aware of what's going on in the tour. It's a buzz, you know, it's exciting.
I'm ready to get going, man.
It's, yeah, no, I'm excited.
It's funny being on the other side of the barriers, though.
I don't know why, but it feels like as soon as they started, I'm like, catch up, catch up.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's the Paris. I saw the tour when I was like 10, and that's what made me want to get into cycling to start with. But then I guess since being in the peloton, you have a different perspective of what it is. The whole idea of the sport, your involvement in it, you can lose your way and think like, what do I actually do? You know, what's my purpose? What do I contribute? For me, it's amazing to be able to do it for World Bicycle Relief. I think there's a lot we take for granted about bikes. As an athlete, we just think of it purely as like a competitive tool, whereas for a lot of people it is means to accessing education, water, you know, transport. If, you know, we can raise money and give bikes to a bunch of people who don't have them just by riding a bike, that's pretty sick. Try and keep this knee from falling apart. My knee was really hurting for like the last 2 hours of the ride, which was just stressing me.
Morning. Morning, how are you, mate? Good. You well? Like a baby.
So you're cheering on Woodsy today?
You know, I don't know much about cycling, but I got the flights.
Alright, see you later, mate.
Okay, good luck.
Bye.
I was trying to prepare everything as best I could with the time frame I had, and I finished racing, and so I had a new bike, and was getting getting that ready, and then the last thing I did was like, oh, I should put new cleats on, and then I hadn't tightened the cleat all the way, and I guess it slipped at some point, and so I didn't even notice and was pushing, and my cleat was in the wrong spot, and then I was like, okay, this doesn't feel right, and then proceeded to wake up like every half an hour and like stand up next to my bed to move it, to be like, is it good, is it good, is it good? And it was like, no, this is bad. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna have to stop.
To get some paracetamol for the knee. It's not getting worse. I think I fixed the problem. It's just like strain from yesterday. So I'm trying to like nurse it as much as I can. I'm still making good time. I'm just trying to like go as easy as I can when I can. But then just keep some decent speed. Stay ahead of the bike race. Britannia. It's the final of stage 2 is a loop, and they wouldn't let me across the finish line the first time. We climbed up there twice, so I did the climb twice now, and then I'm just gonna ride this loop in reverse to behind the finish line to complete the stage. Yeah, Contador was just going straight up the middle. They pulled me off, like 800 meters from the line. A bit messy. But yeah, then Contador was just riding up the middle of the road. And I was like, damn it. I guess he has won the tour like a million times, so. But everyone was cheering. And like people giving me beers and like, it was sick. So I couldn't really get access to the finishes, but like crossing the line was this elusive thing. Even on the first day, I was after the race, packing everything up, and I had to go around the back. So that was just a challenge in itself. It was like kind of like evading the gendarmes for like the last 10K to try and get in there. And then even though it seemed like super, you know, trivial to like try and get 150 meters further, it was kind of the goal. Oh yeah, today's turned right around for me. This, ever since I started the transfer, I've been having a real great time. Cannot complain. Thank you. There's 2 camper vans and we have 5 people creating the film, capturing the content. I'm lucky in that they're very good at what they do, so I'm able to just do what I do. And it's a huge pain in the ass for them because I don't really have a plan and I just go out and do it, and they're like trying to chase a dot around like everyone. And yes, we interact because I'm not trying to do a loneliness challenge, but no, they don't give me food, they don't give me water, and sure, they give me emotional support, and like, I don't care. Like, it's great to have people around capturing what you do so we can share it with people, and then hopefully they can be inspired to go and do great things. Baguette's gonna be the star of the show. I'd like to be like asleep right now, but I'm doing this interview, you know? Like my bivvy's set up just over there. You see this camper? I'd love to get in there. I'll let you guys film whatever. Like I'm doing my thing and like you can film me. It's a mocha. I'm just being genuine, and then I'll allow anyone to see me being genuine. Ultimately, if I don't like what I see, well, that's just who I am. My purpose in being like totally transparent in what I'm doing, yeah, it's just to like, I'm just a guy doing it, you know? Like, I'm not like a superhuman, you know? I'm like very vulnerable, like almost daily. I think it's important to like show that human element in sport, and particularly in cycling, because you don't see it. You know, you see like 4 hours of guys doing battle on the road, and the rest of what goes on is somewhat of a mystery. So I guess by doing the event, the tour in this fashion, you could come ride with me, see how fast I was riding, do what I was doing. You could follow me into the bakery and see how many baguettes I was sticking down my gob, you know? Like, I think that's a good step in cycling, to like go in that direction and be like, hey, this is an open book. Feels like my first proper field since I started. This looks good. I know the stress and pressure that goes into the job of everyone who's at the race. For them to be interested in what I'm doing is, it's nice.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy and what he does is incredible. All the respect for him.
Yeah, every morning or every night I try to catch a few updates on Instagram stories or the website, and I was getting pretty worried about him.
It's cool that they take the time during what is probably the most stressful 3 weeks of the year to say hi.
Oh, they're felt scary please. You look like him.
I'll tell him. I'm not that one.
You look like him.
Yeah, no. I'm not shooting. I started to feel my knee. I was like, it's probably normal, like just the stress of like the first big long day. It's like maybe if I could get my hands on some flat pedals. This might be dinner. Didn't even think about dinner. I could ride in those for a couple of days and my knee would like become less inflamed.
What a day.
And then I could switch back to the road shoes. I was trying to find dinner.
I hope I don't have to buy a whole bike for the pedal.
They had bikes for sale.
You said two colour.
I got a pair of sandals while I was in there. And I was like, all right, I'll give these a shot tomorrow. There was like 70 euros for the bike and I just wanted the pedals. And they would not sell me just the pedals. So I bought the whole bike, took the pedals, threw them on the road bike. It helped. Like immediately, I was like, I can pedal again, I can go hard.
I could start cranking out the Ks now. Back in business. We are back in business. Do you like this bike? Do you have a need for this bike? No? No? You sure? It's brand new. The Whoop always sends me a notification right at this time. It's like 10 to 10. It's always saying aim to sleep like 9 hours. You Whoop. I'll do my best, alright? It's a good once you're in. I feel like getting into an F1 car.
When you're behind the race, it's sweet. And then when you get a day ahead of the race, you've got everyone setting up for the stage. And there's a car that goes around with all the little yellow signs for the peloton to follow. We were just on the road together, like leapfrogging each other all day. You know, like so I'd be going along and then I'd see the yellow signs and be like, damn it, they got ahead again. Like, where did they get ahead? And then I'd get ahead and then be like, oh, there's no signs here. Like, oh, yes, I've dropped them. And they come past on the climb. Like every time I'd see them, it was just like, hey, oh, hey. It got to a point when it was funny for like a day and then it was just kind of like, hey, you know, hey, yep, coming past.
Can't believe how many people are out here already. 24 hours before the race is even starting. It's awesome. I just stopped in the town at the start of the TT, made myself a couple of sandwiches, fresh baguette, some cheese and ham, and I'm just pushing on. Not else much to report, just pedaling away here. Yo, how you doing? Hey, sneaky recon.
finally found chocolate milk. Well, oh, shit. Sorry, mate. The chocolate's to make it go the distance. The beer's just for a slight buzz. And then the Coke's just to mellow it all back out again. Just in the end, it just cancels each other out. You just feel like a slightly better version of yourself. It's awesome to have people come out and support you. You're on that knife edge and you're 10 hours deep and you've already been riding that wave of like nearly cracking for 45 minutes and you're really in your own world because you're like at the end of your limit and someone can enter your world like very easily at a moment that you don't really have space for anything but the effort in yourself. That can also be hard. Sometimes you'll finish a big conversation with someone and you go really deep and chatting and they're like, okay, see you, and then you're like, okay, see you, and then you're like, oh wait, I'm about to go up a 15K climb. Like, I'm not mentally ready for this right now. I had to slowly modify the sandals because like if you're riding 12 hours in sandals, they do rub. Yeah, I had to poke a few new holes there. Blister action. Even though this was the solution, ironically came the problem again. I switched back to the road shoes, knee was fine, but my feet were so cut up from the sandals, and then it proceeded to just continue to rain every day. That my feet were just staying wet and slowly becoming infected, like the blisters and everything. And I was like, I've got to go back to the sandals. So I since switched back to the sandals, and now I'm just going to stick with it. You know, it's like, because I've got enough going on. I'm done with it now. The sandals to Paris. Yeah. It's very wet. I actually had a good night's sleep, believe it or not. But yeah, gotta pack everything down, get going. Oh, no shower last night. Feeling a little rough. Ooh. Make a quick coffee and get going. Problem now is if my mattress gets a hole. I've used the old plugs on the bag. I'm really hoping for like a nice day. No rain. Just, you know, a bit of sun. It doesn't have to be spectacular. Outside assistant. I'm leaning on the van. Any idea how the TT's going?
Magnus caught was fourth.
He's an inspiration, man. Yeah, he's what gets me out on the bike, and yeah, seeing what he does just makes you think, like, I just want to go out and ride as well. Yeah, he's an inspiring guy.
The trip he's doing or the adventure he's having is just amazing. It's so inspiring. It's so much more than just riding the stages of the Tour de France. It's such a huge thing all in all.
So the guy pulled out and started riding with me. He's like talking and he's like, oh, do you want to try some carbon soles in your sandals? And he's like, just try them. Weather gods, coming to the rescue. Great. That's all I've ever wanted to do is to ride bikes. I think when I was younger, it was more like an obsession of like being really good.
Good job, Locke, that's it, good job.
Whereas now, like, it's just, I'm not trying to beat anyone anymore. I'm just trying to like have the most fun I can and push myself in ways that I know will maybe grow me as a person as well as a bike rider. That's kind of my drive now. Racing, like at an elite level, brings out just the worst in me. I'm happy to admit it, but like when I'm at road races, I feel like I'm just the worst version of myself. It brings out a part of my personality that like probably once was obsessive and like basically selfish and just like a shitty person. Every time I like go down that path, it just comes back, you know? And I don't want to do that. Of course, I've got another flat tire. I was having tube trouble and I found a bike shop. And they had tubes. And went in there and it was like 6K to go. And Ben O'Connor was off the front. And so I called Rage. Ben O'Connor's wife and Rage are really good friends and they were together watching it. And then I got like the blow by blow while he went on and won the stage and like almost took the yellow. So they were all pretty excited.
Yay!
I'm a big fan of the sport, you know, and like it's amazing to experience all those sickle climbs. That's like road cycling, like folklore. That's like these hollowed grounds of where all these like famous epic races took place. You get to just go and share these roads, and every time you do it, it's like it's a bit surreal, you know, because you're like, wow, this is where it all happened, and this is where it's gonna happen again. It's not like you had to know someone to get led onto like the soccer pitch Real Madrid plays on. It's like, no, it's just out there in the mountains, it's for free. Right now, this is just a farm track, and like in 5 days' time, this is gonna be like the center of the cycling world. Oh, first time I came here was with my dad. 1-2 challenge twice, with another 3, 5. 6 yesterday, 7. I think that was the nicest time though, for sure. There's just no one about. Because you're so far into like your own head, I call people and be like, what are you doing? Like what's like your normal day like?
You okay, mate?
That's funny, I was going to call you this afternoon. I think when you speak to people who are just having a very normal day, and then you hang up, and then you go back to what you're doing, you're like, this is sick. And you realise that very soon you're going to be back to normal life. And you'll be wishing you're out doing something stupid and hard.
That's easily the hardest climb of the tour. Easily. Wow. Oh.
It's a big day. I have a really good relationship with my dad in that, like, we're great friends. Since day one, he's been like the most supportive dad. And like, he's more proud now than any race I won. And he gets it all, you know, he's more excited about it than anyone. So I'm really looking forward to, like, yeah, just being with the people I love. Because it feels like it's been a long time. And yeah, I want to like share the experience because it's been like very nice.
Big day.
Where have you been hiding now?
You rode past me down here this afternoon. I almost ran into you. Yeah.
Where was it? On the road here?
Yeah.
Good to see that.
Yeah, good to see you. If you meet Locke, like, he's a very relaxed person, but underneath that is a real determination. If he sets his mind to something, that's what he wants to do. I think you guys saw that, you know. There were times when most people would have broken, and he came close, but he still had that determination to get through.
I had different ideas for today. I guess we didn't check the weather. Oh. The storm came through right when I was falling asleep last night. Like full gas lightning, wind, everything, and I was like, oh shit.
He's also an innovator, you know, I mean, he wouldn't have got through the second week if he hadn't taken his shoes off and put those slippers on.
Ready to rock and roll, mate.
He realised that what he was doing wasn't going to work, and so he adapted and he changed that.
These are the wet weather editions. All right. Let's go to Paris. We're not like overly emotional towards each other, I think. Like, we don't express ourselves by talking. We're just kind of in our actions. Like, I know how busy my dad is. It's a big deal for him to like come, like flying halfway around the world to watch me like finish. I was just totally taken aback by it.
30 Ks from Paris. Still absolutely hissing down. I guess this is the last test.
I was just really enjoying it. And I had that chance to process everything just myself. That was the only point I was emotional. I was like tearing up a bit, like just to myself, but because it was so nice. So then finally we came down into the city and you could see the Eiffel Tower. It was just like, holy shit.
Oh, what's wrong with these guys?
Because I hadn't let myself think about it. It's way too dangerous to think that far ahead. I feel so strongly about like what cycling has given me that like I just want everyone to be on a bike, you know? Like you have people come to you and say like, I started riding because of you. I got back on my bike because of what you've done. Wow, maybe I did have like an impact on that person's life because they were able to find cycling at a time when they needed it. They could come back to the bike and have a new relationship with it. They could look at my relationship with bikes and say, well, he went a different path, let me try this. Because that's ultimately me like realising my goal.
Good job, Locke. You've inspired us all. I'm gonna get on my bike right now.
It's not me getting to Paris. That's not my goal. My goal wasn't just to like get here and be like, I did it. I beat the tour, you know, give me the yellow jersey. So to have like a result be like more people getting on bikes, it blows my mind. You know, like how good's that?
Cheers. Cheers, guys. Cheers.